Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers and getting listeners. Back again with another episode. We have a special guest sitting in the back. Wave hi to everybody, buddy.
Hi.
Oh, he's waving. All right. So we are live on Friday night. Well, technically kind of live. We're recording this for tomorrow's podcast. So we're going to talk about a bunch of things here tonight. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So, before we start that, let's talk about SeatGeek. SeatGeek code for the show is Miller Park Minute. You can save $20 off your first order. They are our one and only presenting sponsor for this show. So, you can also support the show at patreon.com/Miller Park Minute. And we are the only daily Brewers podcast. 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is our upload time. If you want to join live, usually it's nightly, anywhere from 9 to 10 o'clock at night. On the weekends, I try to film a little earlier. So, that being said, feel free to join along, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and of course, you can check us out on Facebook and YouTube live on Saturday nights around 4 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Daddy, what are those?
What are what?
The things I see on your.
Oh, I don't know. It's something somebody posted on Facebook. So that being said, find us over at Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pocket Cast, Radio Public. You name it, we're there. Anywhere, Google, wherever you find podcasts, you can find us. So we got a little bit of news. Spring training is rolling along, so we're starting to get into the news cycle. Obviously, we had the big stuff going on yesterday with the arbitration case, the comments by Corbin Burns. We'll get more in depth into that because I want to rip off on that. Last night's episode was a little bit shorter episode because I spent some time on another podcast, the Bart Winkler Show. If you haven't seen that, go check out today's episode anywhere you get your podcasts. So first and foremost, we got some injury news. Jason Alexander, the Milwaukee Brewer starting pitcher, is expected to miss more than a month in the beginning of the season, per Adam McKelvey of Brewers.com, MLB.com. The 29-year-old righty experienced discomfort in his shoulder when he was ramping up for spring training last month. He is likely to be sidelined into the second half of May. Alexander becomes the second Brewers pitcher who will miss substantial time due to shoulder trouble, and of course we know Aaron Ashby was the first. So now we are down on rotation options. This is a good part of the good and the bad of why we load it up so much with starters. So we still existing in the rotation for 2023. We still have Burns, Woodruff, Peralta, Eric Lauer, Adrian Hauser, Jason Junk, Ethan Small, Bryce Wilson. I'll check it out when I'm done. Okay, bud? So we still got options. Does this push Bryce Wilson or an Ethan Small closer to getting an opportunity to pitch, to work a spot into the opening day roster? We don't know. Aaron Ashby's looks like he has more bad news. He's going to be out for multiple months with this injury due to the shoulder inflammation. So it's, again, the same thing as Jason Alexander. Both of them are injured with shoulder issues. We still have a pretty deep rotation, but this is not good stuff that we don't want to be starting spring training out like this. Just not good. The other, I missed this week, with everything I had going on with the 2 different interview episodes and everything like that, and not really interview, but conversation episodes. I don't like to do interviews. I like conversations better. I think a conversation about baseball is a lot better thing than a interview episode. So veteran first baseman outfielder Eric Thames took to Instagram yesterday to announce his retirement. So this actually came on February 16th. The day has finally come, he says in the post. In the year of our Lord 2023, he's gone. I have been so blessed over the past 14 years to call baseball my job. The friendships that will last a lifetime, the memories I'll never shut up about, and those that I swore to secrecy to take to my grave. So he's officially done playing baseball, which is congratulations on that. We'll give him a nice round of applause because there was a time that he was money for the Brewers. It was really great to find out I had sounds and a soundboard. I might change those up. We'll see what I got. But yeah, that was kind of overshadowed, I think, by the Corbin Burnes news. Craig Counsell and Brewers have had conversations on the future. So again, we've talked about that. I'm wondering, one of my things I wanted to add to that, and I was thinking about this today while I was driving around, I'm like, maybe he's concerned about the status of these contract extensions and what players he's going to have the ability to manage going forward for the future. And maybe that's part of the reason he hasn't signed. Maybe he's waiting to find out kind of what is going to happen with the club. You know what I mean? Maybe he wants to know. Wants to know what exactly his job is going to entail. And I don't blame the guy. I mean, at this point in his career, I mean, he's got 2 World Series rings. He's had a lot of success as a major league manager. Why not put it in a position to kind of wait it out? Well, just wait it out and see what happens. I don't blame him. I mean, I really don't. You know, why not? He's still got kids that he can actively participate. His kids are still in that development, and they're not all out of the house yet. So here's one that comes from MLB. These 30 prospects are vying for jobs in spring training. So basically, this is one player from each team, one prospect that could make the opening day roster. So where are we going to go? Of course, we're going to skip down until we get to the Milwaukee Brewers, because those are really the only prospects that I really know. So let's scroll on down to the National League here. All right. So as we all figured, it's Bryce Turing. Bryce Turing is the most likely candidate. The center field job is Garrett Mitchell's to lose. It seems so. We'll put him aside. Turing, on the flip side, is a part of more open conversation at second base with more veteran types like Urias, who slid to third. Castanheira, Owen Miller, both might be a fit at first. It's a flexible defensive group. The athletic Turing came up as a shortstop with some center and third mixed in. He could be defensive star at second, though, as his bat did show significant improvements at AAA, particularly in power. So we don't know where he's going to be. I mean, you know, they're saying it. Tom said it, I think, about just about every other rotation or not rotation lineup, opening day lineup said it as well. So I think that's a real good thing. That's a secondary article about our starting pitching depth is taking a hit here. And it really has. So we're going to lean on the major portion of our starting pitching, which brings us to our next topic. Pecota actually loves our starting pitcher. This goes over to brewerfanatic.com. Again, we have a little bit of partnership with them. There's some great guys over there. This article is by our friend Tim Mamu. And he writes about our starting rotation. So these are all projected numbers here. Burns 174.2 innings, Woodruff 166, Peralta 111.2, Lauer 151.1, 108.2 innings for Miley. So these guys are going to get the majority of the innings. Going down the list, 242 for Burns is what they're saying, 274 for Woodruff, 326 for Peralta, Lauer 3.89, and Miley at 4.42. These are all ERAs. So they kind of rank them in that order, too. I mean, talking about Corbin Burns starting numbers, of course, those are only the 50th percentile numbers. Burns is 28, and argument as the best pitcher since 2020 for a guy in the prime of his career, healthy, would be 80th percentile projections. Congrats to 2023 NL Cy Young Award winner. They're saying he's going to get the NL Cy Young with a 2.18 ERA, 2.72 FIP, 1.03 WHIP, 11.2 Ks per 9, 2.26 walks per 9. So basically, with Corbin Burns, the sky's the limit. I mean, the guy really has shown some great talent, and he's going to do great things in baseball. I think yesterday was a little blip on the radar. I'm going to spin another. In a few moments, we're going to talk about Burns some more, and we're going to talk about another take, so to speak, another idea I have, and it came to me by a podcast that I listened to, and we'll talk about it. We'll get there. The Brewers co-ace shouldn't be far behind him. They are putting him at, now these are there. It looks like they put out their projected numbers as well. 2.46 ERA, 3.19 FIP, 1.04 WHIP, 10.63 K per 9, 2.19 walks per 9. Now, this is actually my favorite of the rotation. That's Freddie Peralta. I think Freddie Peralta is set to have another great year and a bounce back year from his. He's my pick, and I kind of alluded to it earlier this week when I talked to Levering. He's my pick, and I think he has an opportunity to have a really good bounce back season. Eat up a lot more innings, get closer to that 175 innings mark, and they're saying for Freddie Peralta 2.94 ERA, 3.5 FIP, 1.14 WHIP, 10.9 K per 9, 3.1 walks per 9. Then next up, they're giving Eric Lauer a 3.59, 3.98 FIP, 1.27 WHIP, 8.7 K per 9, 3.11 walk per 9. Wade Miley, they are giving 4.06, 4.03 FIP, 139 WHIP, 6.6 K per 9, 3.0 walks per 9. Which, I mean, I like these numbers. I think our rotation is going to be our strength this year. We've kind of switched from being a batter-heavy team to being a pitcher-heavy team over the last few years, and that's really good. I mean, that's something we've never had as baseball fans in my lifetime, and it's exciting. It's just exciting. It's an exciting brand of Brewer baseball to be watching, to see these guys warming up, and to see pictures of our stars playing better. Just getting ready. I mean, this is the time of year where we're juiced. We're all juiced for baseball. We're all juiced for the crew. We're passionate about what's going on, and that's why everybody was so worked up on Twitter yesterday, and it continues to be today yet. In the next day and a half, the next day and a half post results of what Corbin Burns said has been crazy. And I'm going to kind of point this out. This is just giving you a slice of kind of the topic here before I go full in. So Corbin Burns, at the end of the day, is an employee of the Milwaukee Brewers. He's employed. He's paid a salary to be a player for the Milwaukee Brewers. He kind of stepped out of line yesterday. I understand the guy's irritated. I understand the guy's angry with what he heard, but he knows that this is part of the process. If he thinks that they're going to pop sunshine and rainbows and say, "Oh, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread," well, then they're going to get reason to lose the case. That comment that I said, and I've said it to a couple of people, where it's just business, it is literally the business. It is how this process works to downgrade every comment he made and every offshoot thing he said. You don't think that's been said to every player that's ever been in an arbitration case? They have certain criteria, certain things that they can say and use against these players to win these cases. What are they going to do? They're going to win the case. They're going to do everything that they can to win the case. And in turn, Corbin Burns's representation should have been doing the same thing and pointing out every good thing about him and every number. And obviously they didn't get there, so that's my thought on that is he didn't present the case. His representation or himself or whoever made the statements here in the rebuttal didn't present it, and that's on him. That's really on him. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not flipping sides here. I'm still pro Corbin Burns, and I still love Corbin Burns, but I think at the same time, if you didn't win this, you didn't go in with the right information in hand to win this thing. And quite frankly, I mean, the Brewers are cheap. The Brewers have been cheap. They aren't gonna spend the money. They've proven that to us over and over again. I don't see a time frame that they're going to start spending money. I'd love to see, and I've talked about it 100 times. I think they could. I very well think they could. And a lot of people have said, well, they could spend the money, but they won't. They don't want to get themselves into that hole because that's just it's not a safe place to be in, because then you actually have to spend the money, I just don't think that they're ready to make that commitment. I don't think Mark as an owner is ready. I don't think the team is ready. I don't think they're ready to do it.
Daddy, I need to go to the
bathroom. Go to the bathroom. But yeah, I just don't think they're ready to make the move to be a spending money team. Please shut the door. I don't think they're ready to make that move. I don't think they're ready to be that team yet. It's a shame. It's a shame because we want the Brewers to go as far as we possibly can. It's very important for us as a ball club. Craig Counsell is the first manager in Brewers history in recent memory to go into spring training in the final year of a contract, but neither he nor Matt Arnold sounds particularly bothered by that. It's another McKelvey tweet. There's a lot a lot of tweets out there about the Brewers today. Burns burns the Brewers, but at Dominic Contronio, Dom Contronio says that extra points, it's all going to be okay. Yeah, if you haven't extra innings, if you haven't listened to extra innings is a great podcast. That's done by 620. There's not a lot going on right now for Bruce podcasts. It's just kind of like it's me and like a couple people that occasionally talk. So here's what I think. I think Corbin Burns deserves all the money. I think he deserves 280, 290, 300 million. I really do. I'd love for us to pay it to him. I'd love for us to pay her a smaller amount and keep him around just 5 years. Just what's the 5-year deal? What's the 4-year deal? Let's try it out and see how good he gets. Franchise pitchers don't happen for us. They happen for other teams. Other teams keep guys around. I mean, like look at just our conversation with the Butcher the other night with the NL Central Hall of Fame. Well, Wainwright is a franchise Cardinal. He's been there since basically the year after I graduated high school. All my adult Brewers fandom, Wainwright has been there. And it can be said for Yadier Molina too. I mean, they lock these guys up and they've had them forever. And the Braves are doing it. And this is the thing of baseball. You're going to prevent the Steve Cohen of the world from overpaying people, you're going to have to really, really lock these people up for the long term. Welcome. I see you. I saw you.
What?
Nothing. So yeah, and that's the thing. I think to prevent the Steve Cohen effect, to prevent these guys from getting such overrated overpayments, it is absolutely vital that you lock them up on the cheap. I'm surprised they hadn't worked it, knowing that we had this situation with these 3 young guys. I'm surprised that we hadn't worked this out sooner. And I really, really, really wish that we could have put deals on these guys sooner and kind of kept them under our control longer. And that's the unfortunate part of all of this, is that we were unable to do that. Willie Adames, yes, we haven't had him long enough. Yeah, now it would be the ideal time, especially considering the shortstop market blew up this season. I mean, look at the contract Dansby got. Look at the contracts that Trey Turner and Bogarts and all these guys are getting. It's like, okay, we needed to do this sooner before we should have done last year. Actually, towards the end of last year would have been ideal for him. Corbin Burns is a $280 to $300 million man, a 30 million a year contract. Are we going to pay that? I would love to say yes, but the reality of the matter is probably not. Does that mean he should be traded? Because I've heard a lot of that. Well, let's just trade him. Well, no, you don't trade him yet. Well, we got to get something for him. We got to get something. Well, no, you don't got to get something. You've already gotten something. You've got a Cy Young winner, an awesome baseball player. You pay the guy $10 million. You're getting that $10 million worth of value back unless he gets hurt. So we don't have to get something for him. I think that is a selfish mentality and a stupid mentality when you're considering you're trying to win a World Series. That's my take on that. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, the Brew Crew hasn't the only recent long term was Christian Yelich. They thought they were getting a franchise player. I've heard that he's coming with a new attitude and coming in strong this year, but I don't. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees with that. We got to wait and see. It's a wait and see attitude, and I will continue to wait and see. Just seeing if anything else on the baseball front is trending right now.
Whoa, that's so cool.
No, SmackDown All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend is this weekend for the NBA.
What?
I'm tired. It's been a long week. Snowy week, long week. Lots of content, lots of work. Talking about Pecota, we talked about Burns.
What?
I'm just recapping the topics here. We've covered a lot of bases. I tend to try to not overwhelm after I do a series of long episodes. Tell me what you guys like for episodes. I don't even know. If you want to leave that in the comments below, or shoot me a DM. What you like for these long and short episodes? Contreras eager to improve. Basically, that was an interview with Adam McKelvey. Contreras has come into camp and he's ready to learn. And we have that coaching system where we coach these catchers up and work on the pitch framing and all of that. So that's been very good for us. We've taken guys like Jasmani, and even Omar, and made him better catchers. So it's really awesome to see that he's coming in eager, especially considering the talent level that he's already showed. His early results is he hit 20 home runs with an 860 OPS in 97 games for Atlanta last season, while starting the All-Star game alongside his brother, Cub turned Cardinal catcher Wilson Contreras. So William Contreras already has that All-Star knock. So we gotta get that. He's gotta get back there with us. And I don't know. I just
Money.
part of me says that good things are happening and I want to be happy, but obviously we get turned to the dark side. And I'm gonna put this one on Corbin Burns. His reaction, he could have bit his tongue. It was not his place to come out and say all of this in front of the cameras, in front of the media, and to drag this thing out and make this as bad as it is. Because what did you do? I mean, I can count. If you type in Milwaukee Brewers, let's go to the old Google because this is how I search articles. If you go to top stories, Milwaukee Brewers right now, outside of the Ashby or the Jason Alexander news, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 of the 10 articles that are shown when you type in Milwaukee Brewers on Google are about Corbin Burns and what happened. Because he opened his goddamn mouth. He ran his mouth about stupid crap that was inconsequential in the process of this whole thing. They're not gonna, like I said this earlier, they're not gonna pop sunshine and rainbows and celebrate him when they're trying to say he's worth less money than he thinks he's worth. So to make those comments, to say that, to come out and say that when a reporter asks you about how you feel about it is really dumb. To me, that says he broke the walls of what the arbitration process is about. He went outside of the agreed upon process that MLB has. And for that, I think he's wrong. I'm on his side. I think he should be paid. Yes. But as far as speaking out of turn, I definitely think he spoke out of turn in making those comments. I'm not even going to read the comments on this podcast because that's how I feel about it. That's what didn't sit right with me. I figured it out. I took 24 hours, 48 hours to digest. And I think that's the big thing I feel. I feel he stepped out of line. He stepped out of turn and said some shit that just quite frankly didn't need to be said. And if you want to talk about it, feel free. I'm live tomorrow night. I would love to chat more about this, and I will chat more about this because this one ain't going away. Unfortunate for the Brewers and any other positive news that comes out of camp, this story ain't going away. I mean, 9 of the top 10 stories on Google, all 9 of the stories that pop up when I Google Milwaukee Brewers are about Corbin Burns. Because everybody wants a piece of a negative story. Everybody wants to talk about the negative. But not a one of them puts the blame on Corbin Burns for opening his goddamn mouth and saying some stupid fucking shit. You're our ace. You work for the Brewers. You work for us, bro. Relax. And I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off with this. That's why I saved it for the end. To see who's really listening, who's paying attention. Corbin Burns made a stupid move yesterday and saying what he said. He could have deflected. He could have not said a word. He could have been like, it's part of the process. It is what it is. It's business. Because that's what I said. I said I wasn't going to be mad. I said I actually made the thing that a post that said, yeah, I don't see anything happening here. It should be fine. Because I didn't. Because you went in with the expectation. He's a baseball player. Shouldn't he know that he's going into a process where he might not end up getting paid? Or is this just the mentality of people these days where you don't get your way and you just whine to anyone who will hear you? I don't know. Either way, I'm pissed off. I love Corbin Burns. I do. I love his baseball abilities. But I don't think the guy's got much up there because that makes him look bad. And you don't think that tarnishes his reputation for taking something out of a private process and airing your dirty laundry about it? Shouldn't have been said. Not professional. Not a professional look. Not a good look. I don't care what was said. These are the same things that are said in everybody else's arbitration hearing. They are. If you don't believe me, go to, I believe it's called Nothing Personal. Let me look. I shared it on Facebook earlier. Yeah, Nothing Personal with David Sampson. David Sampson is a former Marlins GM. And he puts out podcasts and he rips Corbin. And after hearing that, I was like, wow, yeah, this is exactly how I feel. Like, you stepped out of the process and you probably tarnished your own standing with the team. If they thought about even talking about an extension, maybe they won't now. Who knows? Maybe they will seek out a trade partner. I mean, let's be professional here. Let's make moves. Let's get to baseball. And I think that's what he should have focused on. I think that's what his message should have been. Should have been, well, it is what it is. Let's get to baseball. And when probed, he should have said, guys, I'm just here to play baseball. It's a notorious answer. It's a tale as old as time. Just give the answer and move the fuck on. And quite frankly, a little disappointed at the professionalism. Better hope he delivers this year because that's what people are going to look for. You can overshadow your stupidity of saying stupid crap in front of a microphone by delivering on the mound this season. It's the only way to it. And that's all I got for tonight, guys. That's been the Miller Park Minute. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to my rant. If you don't agree, if you think I'm wrong for this, feel free to visit me in the comments. We'll talk. I'll be here tomorrow live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Or I'm sorry, Twitch, not Twitter. But I'll be here tomorrow live. So if you want to talk about this, if you got an opinion, you think I'm wrong for thinking he's a completely unprofessional for stepping out of line and talking like this, then come join me. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. You can even come live on this screen and we'll talk about it. I don't care. If you do like this podcast, guys, we appreciate your support. Thank you for listening to every day. This is a 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We upload new videos, new pods. We're here. We're talking baseball. We will be here, win or lose, good and bad. And gosh, that's all I got tonight, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your night and go.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.